In today's video, we're going to be announcing the winner of the Blazing Buffalo Extreme Hot Sauce giveaway. And I've got a couple other cool announcements as well, so stick around and I'll tell you about it right after this. In just a few days' time, it's going to be Christmas, and a few days after that, it's going to be New Year's, which means the end of 2019. But it's also the end of a decade, and that's pretty incredible. What's more incredible than that is the support that I get from all of you guys. 2019 has been an amazing year for me. I've grown from 10,000 subscribers in December 2018 to now well over 80,000 subscribers. So a big thank you to all of you, and an even bigger thank you to all of you who are supporting me off the channel as well. My Patreons, number one, you guys are just phenomenal. I love chatting with you all, and I don't think you realize just how much it means, the support you show me on Patreon. It really makes all the time that I put into this worth it. And the people that are buying my sauces, my spices, and also my recipe book, thank you so much. The support you show, you know, regardless of what it is, even if you're not able to buy things, I don't expect everybody to go out and buy things from me. That's not my intent. You know, even commenting and giving me encouraging comments in my videos, your messages you leave me on Facebook or Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, you know, all of that means a lot to me. So thank you. Thank you to every single one of you. As a further thank you, I have a couple of announcements which I'll leave till after this segment. Let's get straight into showing you who won the Blazing Buffalo Extreme Hot Sauce from the giveaway I did a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, let's do the pick. First thing we need to do is get our YouTube video URL, and we'll stick that into this comment picker. And let's just have a look. There are 106 comments. But I did say that we need to have the hashtag Stay Spicy ChilliChump in there. So let's try that again. Only 55 of you guys. So let's do a random pick and see who's won. So, aka Borg, you are the winner. And I'm guessing you're in South Africa. So yes, I do ship to South Africa, and I will be shipping to you, and hopefully it gets to you in one piece. I'll try and put that in track delivery. I know that sometimes there are some problems with delivery in South Africa, but for all you other South Africans out there, there is delivery to South Africa. Actually, I pretty much opened it up to everyone now. I did restrict it a little bit before because of Australia and some other countries were a bit restrictive on import, but I've tested a few where I've been sending them out and actually hasn't been a problem.
Congratulations once again, aka Borg. If you get in contact with me at chillichump.com/contact, I will verify it's you firstly, and then we'll get that shipped out to you as soon as I can. You guys have given me so much in 2019, and it is Christmas time, which is the time for giving. And I am going to be giving away another 3 bottles of my Blazing Buffalo Extreme Hot Sauce. All you need to do is leave a comment down below and make sure you have the hashtag Stay Spicy ChilliChump, and we'll make sure that you're entered into that draw, which I should draw in the next week or two, just depends on timing. But make sure you go and leave a comment down below with the hashtag Stay Spicy ChilliChump, and you'll be in with the chance to win. This video is not just about giving thanks to all of you and doing giveaways, it's also to share some news about upcoming videos and what I'm getting up to in 2020. As most of you know, I automate pretty much everything inside my greenhouse and my polytunnel over there, and I power all of that using solar power and a 12-volt battery. And I've shared with you basically what I've done to build all that, but the specifics I haven't really got into. This year, I will be doing a beginner's guide to automation, which means I'll lead you through the process from the very basics of coding right through to creating your own fully developed watering system, lights, fans, whatever you want to do. You'll be able to do it hopefully by the end of that series. Now, there are a lot of people that are watching this that maybe don't have any coding experience, or they don't know how to solder, they don't know how to do any sort of electrical work. That doesn't matter. Hopefully this is going to be an interesting series that you'll be able to learn something new. The guys out there that are already doing this for themselves, a lot of the information I'm going to give in that series might be very basic to you, but you're not really the target. However, there will still maybe be some things in there that you could still learn. I know I watch beginners tutorials quite a bit, even for products or programming languages that I know quite well, because there's always something to pick up, the way that people work and some of the efficiencies and optimizations that they make. So hopefully there's going to be a little bit of something in that series for everyone. This is the way my greenhouse is currently set up. We have a 12-volt battery which is topped up by a 100-watt solar panel, and we are running an ESP32 which actually controls everything. I have one of these that control the watering, the lights, the fans, and also takes sensor readings for the temperature, humidity for the polytunnel, the greenhouse, and also externally. And that allows me to monitor what's going on in the greenhouse and also make decisions about when I'm going to be watering, how much to water, and that sort of thing. Now, I chose the ESP32 over things like the Arduino because it is Wi-Fi enabled. This thing has Wi-Fi built in. It actually, I think, also has Bluetooth built in. It's a pretty impressive device and only costs $5, which is just honestly insane. So we've got this device here that pretty much manages all my greenhouse, but I need some way to interact with it. Now, I could directly interact with it, and this here could kind of run like a web server as well, so I could use that to get the readings and switch things on and off directly. The problem with that is, because I'm running on 12 volts down here and running off a battery, this thing, as low power and low energy use as it is, when it comes to wintertime, I'm not able to top up this battery as much as I am in the summertime. So this here actually uses quite a bit of power if I had to have it on all day long, because it has got Wi-Fi and all that sort of thing. However, there's a little trick that we have here, which is this thing can go to sleep. And when it goes to sleep, it switches off everything. And when it wakes up, it will then come back to life. It will take all these sensor readings and check if the fans or the pumps and lights need to be on. The problem is, if I'm trying to interact with it directly while it's asleep, I'm not going to be able to access it, which is a bit of a problem. I'd have to time it very carefully about when I'm actually accessing the thing. It's just not practical, not going to work. So this is the problem you have with a lot of Internet of Things devices, is you don't want to access them directly. What you want to do is use something like a web server. So what I'm doing here is I'm sending information to this web server back and forth. This web server is up and running all the time. I have a few of my websites hosted here. So ChilliChump.com is hosted up here, as well as a few of my others. And this is sending information. Every time this wakes up, so every 30 seconds, let's say it wakes up, it's going to then send a bunch of information saying what the temperature, humidity, etc. is. It's also going to check with the web server to see, should I have the fans on, the pumps or the lights? Because I am interacting with the web server, I'm telling the web server, which has a little bit of coding that I've done, I'm telling it, okay, I want to set a schedule for the fans to be on or the pumps. It's going to control it over here. This here is then going to tell the ESP32 turn things on. So that's pretty much how it works. I've created an API that allows me to do this. So the API is just a way to interact with the web server without having to directly influence files or the database or anything like that. So the API is basically a way to send this information in a way that's quite lightweight. However, there are better ways to do this. I developed my own API. I developed my own code all around all this. To be honest, this here, the code is still going to be kind of manual. It's going to be what I develop, but it's going to be a lot easier to interact over here. And that is using the MQTT protocol. And the MQTT protocol is a very cool and clever system. It was around when I started doing this, but I didn't find that it did everything I needed. It wasn't as mature as I would have liked, so I just developed my own system. But now it's pretty solid and actually quite impressive. Now, I'm not going to send data directly to the web server. What I am going to do is send it to a Raspberry Pi. I'm running a Raspberry Pi in my house, which is basically running as a web server, and information is going to go back and forth between the Raspberry Pi and the ESP32. By interacting with the Raspberry Pi, this is on my internal network. So if we think about it like this, anything below here is sitting inside my network. Anything above there is web-based, right? So it's out in the cloud, which is why we have this up here. The thing is, I'm still going to have the Raspberry Pi talking to my web server. And that's one of the real benefits of MQTT. Very easily, I can create a system that allows me to have this information flowing back and forth, which means I can still interact with the web server, but if I open up my network, so that I open up a certain port, I can get access directly to my Raspberry Pi and I can still control there. So I can do it either way. The benefit of this system is also that for you guys that are watching, you will also be able to access this information. You're not going to have access to my Raspberry Pi. I'm not going to allow access to that. But you will be able to come into the web server and see all this information as well. And I can do that in quite a secure way. I haven't opened it up to the public in the past with my current system because I just didn't want to have the hassle of the security risk. So I did actually lock it down quite a bit. This system here, though, you guys will be able to go and check what's going on in my greenhouse. I might even put up some of my time-lapse photos that I'm taking all year long, so you'll be able to see inside the greenhouse as well. MQTT is basically a publish and subscribe model, which means that this here is going to be publishing data. It's going to publish data to my Raspberry Pi, and not only can I have a web server subscribing to the data that's in the Raspberry Pi, but I can have other devices subscribing to that data as well. And what that means is I can do some clever stuff with the other devices I want to use, whether it's an ESP32 or even a PC. For the machine learning that I've been developing around optimizing this whole process over here, having a PC running those algorithms to actually check what I need to get done, that's pretty handy because it can subscribe to this and also can be a publisher. It can publish data back, which the ESP32 will be able to access, and it'll make decisions based on that. So MQTT is just a far more robust and a pretty good way to create redundancy compared to what I was doing before. Mine was proprietary, bespoke. It did what I needed to do, but translating that into something that all of you can use was not going to be too easy. So moving to MQTT is going to make it a lot easier for me to show you guys how to do something like this, and you'll be able to get up and running pretty quickly. The other thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using Node-RED to actually do the coding, the interaction, the displaying graphics, and getting the system to show some pretty cool stuff on the website. And you can do the same thing. Node-RED is a very easy to use graphical interface. You don't need a lot of coding experience to be able to use it, and it also makes it a lot easier for me to share my code with you, and it will make a lot more sense. So that's pretty much how this is all going to work. I know it might look a little complex over there, but it is pretty simple. And when we get to the end of my beginner's guide to automation, I'm sure you guys will be able to build a system pretty much the same as what I have over here. For me to get comfortable with MQTT, I am going to create my first program, which will be something that monitors temperature and humidity inside this grow tent. Before I put my plants in here, which won't be too long now, I need to just make sure that I can maintain particular temperatures. It is quite cold. It's not too bad today actually, but it is quite cold now in the winter time, and I just want to make sure I can maintain at least a minimum temperature level, which I'm still deciding on, but it'll be around about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. I'm going to be using this heating bar over here. This is I think it's 60 watt or 100 watt heating bar that you would use in a greenhouse, and I think that'll be more than ample to actually heat up this grow tent over here. Now, what I'll be doing is I'll be monitoring the temperatures inside this grow tent using my ESP8266 with a humidity and temperature sensor. Now, I've used this before. I've showed you guys how this works with, I think it was Ubidots. I did a video on that last year. I'm going to recode this to send data to my MQTT server. What that's going to mean is I get to monitor this in real time. I get to learn a little bit about MQTT. I also get to develop my server that I've already built, and it's actually sitting inside my garage running away at the moment. I am going to also be using Node-RED to actually do all the coding, just to make things simple. I don't have time to spend, whole days on coding, and if I did my code all over again from the greenhouse and the polytunnel, it would take a lot of hours, a lot of effort. With something like Node-RED, it is a much simpler way to do this. And also it means that it's something that's accessible to you guys. You can jump in straight away, you can follow along with my tutorials, I can share the code I'm using, and it just makes life a lot easier. And I'm dropping my temperature sensor. And I'm going to be setting this up over the next week or two, depending on how much time I have, and we'll get myself comfortable with MQTT and Node-RED, make sure that we've got everything set up the way I want it to be set up, so that when I start doing the tutorial for you guys, then it's going to be something that you'll find very useful. When I started my channel, I did it because I was actually trying to find some information on doing drip irrigation, and there was nothing out there. I couldn't find anything that was useful, so I kind of figured it out for myself, and then I shared the results with you guys. That was the first video I put up. And since then I decided obviously to diversify quite a bit, and my channel is all about things that I'm passionate about. I know it's called ChilliChump, and I have a massive passion for chilies, growing chilies, and all things that go around chilies, sauce making, spices, etc. But there's many other things that I'm interested in as well, and I hope that the videos I put out there that maybe aren't chili related sometimes will be something that is going to be still interesting for you guys. I'm not here just to show me growing chilies in every video, and I hate to say this, but if that is all you want from my channel, then unfortunately I'm going to be disappointing you with a few videos that are coming up. But for the rest of you, I hope that me sharing my life with you, sharing what I get up to, sharing my passions is something you enjoy. It's something that you guys can learn a few things and maybe develop some new passions for yourselves. And that's kind of the intent of this channel. This is the joy of YouTube. There are plenty of other videos out there that you can go watch. I really do hope you stick around and watch more of my content, but I can't please all the people all the time, right? As long as I please some of the people some of the time, it makes me a happy man. But I do take on feedback from all of you. If there are some videos you want to see more of or less of, let me know. And if there's consensus, we'll change the frequency. I'm not going to stop doing certain videos. I'm not going to stop doing my worm videos, for example. I love my worm farms. I love my automation. I'm not going to stop doing those videos. So hopefully you get some enjoyment out of those. And if you don't, click off it and wait till I release another video that you are interested in. It's quite challenging to put yourself out there and do a channel like this where you are sharing things you are personally passionate about. I'm not doing this as a business. This is something I'm doing as a way to connect with all of you, like-minded people, and for the vast majority, 99% of the experience that I have is positive, and I thank you all for that. But it is sometimes tough when you are putting your heart and soul into something to deal with that 1%. I do read every single comment, even the negative ones. It's just the nature of running a YouTube channel. You are putting a lot out there, And it's always good to see that instant feedback. That's probably one of the real benefits of YouTube. It is instant feedback. I don't want to end this video on a negative note. What I was saying before, it wasn't negative. Just being honest with you guys and just sharing a bit more about what this channel is about, what I'm about. And yeah, overwhelmingly, you guys are supportive, and that's all that really matters. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you and your family and your friends, you get to spend a lot of time together over the coming days, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Have a fantastic holiday break and re-energize yourself, ready for 2020. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an incredible year for many, many reasons. And until the next video, stay spicy.